Welcome back to I Am Old. So,
Old.
oh look, guys! Look, guys! Draben is having a sale. Everything is 20% off.
Oh my god! In-game
Everything's
advertising?
the same.
No.
Yes, advertising for a shop that doesn't actually exist.
Also, old. Speak for yourselves. I'm the youngest member on the team.
I said I am old, as in me. I was referring to me alone.
First person
But you
singular.
were referring to the part as the title of IMO, which implies that it occurs to the team as a whole.
Sure.
On the verbose Act of 13, section page 515.
Whatever.
So where to now?
Well, now we're going to finish Act 4.
It's still the matter of.
It's like Snake was walking in beat with the tune.
That is true, however.
think-
We kind of got sidetracked a bit because of a fight of crying wolf, but we were doing all of this tracking just to open a fucking door.
Yes. Yes, we were. Also, I'm pretty sure this is a remix of a Metal Gear Solid 1 tune we're listening to right now.
I think so.
Indeed. Alright, so we got to take care of all the little geckos that are patrolling the area. They're
Highly advanced geckos, and they can't sense the very prominent sounds of feet pattering on the metal. Oh. Hello?
Otacon, how do I get this door open?
It's not opening? That's weird. I know I disengaged security back at the lab.
We should have been able to get to Rex's storage hangar from here.
I've got it.
Blow the door open.
There are casting and rolling facilities directly beneath the furnace. You should be able to pass through them to a drainage duct that leads
Just
to
blow it open. You've got a rocket launcher.
There should be a special service elevator in
It was more of a railgun, but to be fair, the grenade launcher could do something, I guess.
I guess they still want to try and be covert, although honestly, time is of
Covert,
the essence.
there's nobody here.
And I am pretty sure that between the...
There's the geckos actually lives. If the geckos detect you, an entire swarm of geckos overwhelms you, and they never actually end. Even if you kill all of them, they'll just keep coming.
The classic type of enemy whips that just because they're small looking, don't underestimate them.
It's like the Compsognathos from the Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah, I was about to say the compies.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Also, I'm pretty sure that between the fact that it was built, it's taking an older facility, and the fact that a lot of time has passed to accumulate rust, I get the idea that the metal might not be as resistant as it was, so maybe it can bend with sufficient force. I don't know.
It bends. It bends. Anyway,
Bending like
to
back.
the lowest floor.
Snake,
Oh,
I've got something to tell you about Naomi Hunter. What about her? She might be a spy.
Yeah, so obviously this is the perfect time to also mention that flashback from MGS1, because now we're going for the same place where we're still not sure where Naomi's allegiance lies. So
I was gonna say, I love how the quote "she might be a spy" is probably the best way to summarize Naomi's character across the series.
I understand that, Jova, but I get the Ada Wong, she really isn't.
Oh no! She is not as smooth as Ada Wong is at it. Let's make that
I don't-
Ada Wong
clear.
is the opposite.
Okay.
Yes, babe?
Okay. I don't want to keep harping on this too much. So we're nearly at the end of this act anyway, so probably the last time I'll say it.
Oh,
But man, these flashbacks would hit so much better if they used the takes where the actors actually sounded like they gave a shit.
yeah, well, but that's the thing.
I
Is
get why
according
they
to
used the
Konami,
Snakes ones.
according to Konami, the reason they re-recorded lines for Twin Snakes is because apparently, if you take the original recordings and remove them from the bitrate of the actual game, there's a lot of background noise that suddenly can be heard, so the audio becomes unusable. Apparently, that's the explanation. That's the
Okay.
that's the official that's the official explanation we were given. But I don't know. Go on.
Okay, to be fair, that is a case where, for as good as audio removal technology can be, like, okay, you know how we have recordings from old speeches, like Martin Luther King's or Hitler's speeches and whatnot, but obviously you can't remove all the noise filtration or static from them due to how old they are. I get that that's probably the case with Metal Gear
That's
Solid
a good
1
point,
stuff and
Jova,
how it's
but
coded
your
in.
examples are basically speeches done right in the open to a tons of people. Like, not necessary to be done in the closest environment of a recording studio, which is normally should be actually equipped with its walls for this kind of stuff.
But one thing you have to remember, Tio, Metal Gear Solid 1 was done when voice acting for games was kind of in okay, if not its infancy, definitely its toddler state. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, the process of voice acting was not nearly as refined back then as it is now.
Okay, I get that, Jova, but I struggle to believe that this translates to let's record in my father's garage and it will be fine.
Oh, it probably wasn't that bad, but it was to a point where they wouldn't be able to get the best quality. And to be fair, also, when it comes to re-recording for Twin Snakes, given how the cutscenes are different for that anyway, I totally get that. And as for why they didn't use the dialogue from the original game for this, that is probably because of how old it was, and like the gap would have been a lot more noticeable than the gap of Twin Snakes. Like, to be fair, we didn't even initially know that it was the Twin Snakes dialogue because it's a lot easier to mask that than it would be per se to mask the Metal Gear Solid 1 dialogue. So, look, I normally don't give Konami the benefit of the doubt, but this is one of the few cases where I am willing to get why they did things the way they did.
The thing is, if you go into Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 1 doesn't have sound settings. If you could turn off the music in Metal Gear Solid 1, it would be very easy for a fan to just use the game itself and record the lines on a separate audio file, and then you could do something like that. But the original MGS1 does not have those kinds of sound settings because it was released at a time where that wasn't standard at the time.
I don't know how the details works, but aren't technically the voice lines files that could be contained to the data mining of the?
No, Joe, but that's what I said though. That's what I said though. If you look at the voice files, apparently they're full of background noise that cannot be heard in the game itself, but if you take them out of the game, it can be heard. It makes the audios unusable, apparently.
I think we've established at this point that Metal Gear Solid 1, while definitely a classic, program-wise, it was not exactly salvation-friendly, in the sense, like, well, we're seeing the results of that in the Master Collection, where they can't really do much to clean it up due to how it was coded.
Actually, Jova, this is an issue exclusive to the English dub, because the Japanese version of this game uses Japanese audio from... the thing is, apparently, Jova, the audio recording equipment used for the English dub of MGS1 was apparently very poor.
Specifically the English version of that game.
But again, to this very day, we do see that English dubs in general, on a general level, without even to be on a specific media, tends to still be faulty, because specifically on the mic peak variety.
Yeah. So long story short, Webs, the developers did the best they could with what they had, basically.
I actually do find it ironic that they didn't give as much care to the English dub, seeing as how, ironically, it is definitely the English dub of Metal Gear that went on to be more iconic. Not to say that the Japanese dub is any slouch, but even over in Japan, they tend to prefer
Metal Gear
dub.
I don't know, Jova, that's not the one that they use for the Smash trailer.
Well, the Metal Gear Solid series has always sold more in the West, and it makes sense because its Western themes make it a lot more appealing to a Western audience.
Alright,
who's next?
Well, I think we are right in the chamber where we fought Rex.
There you go. This was where we originally found Metal Gear Rex.
But where is Rex?
Yeah, actually,
Rex is the facility now.
Liquid did start operating, but it not really moved that much outside.
Now keep in mind, we stopped Rex in its chamber. It never got out. So someone must have moved it.
On a card, next time build jetpacks on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a work in progress, Bibs.
You know what's funny? If you're asking for jetpacks on a Metal Gear, don't worry, fam. Metal Gear Solid 5's got you covered.
So why would they remove them later on? Because 5's a prequel.
Soviet technology. That's the best
Okay.
explanation I can give you.
Okay, like I've said, it is one issue you may run into in prequels when, oh, turns out this thing was way bigger than what came after. Like, and yeah, let me put it like this. Arguably potentially the most dangerous Metal Gear was actually the one in 5, given how that one is a flipping transformer, and no, I will not elaborate on that because that would be spoiling.
It's there you go. Hold on. I guess you can make an argument that the person who I will not spoil that developed that Metal Gear was much more experienced than Otacon was when making Rex.
All of this stuff has been done mostly for the Soviets, so it's very easy to assume that it will just discard the prototype.
Oh, there it is.
here.
We found Rex.
How did it got there?
That is a
You'll know,
question.
and yes, they just the railgun has been was taken out of it.
Has it already been shipped?
Yeah, that's the one part where Liquid needed.
A miniature version of Metal Rex, clicking into the original Metal Rex.
Oh. Hi, Vamp.
He felt the need to strip down.
Naomi.
This place will be your grave, as my queen wishes. The suicide gecko are on their way. Soon, there'll be nothing left of this place.
I guess they eventually got around to wiping it out.
Suicide Gecko does sound kind of silly, though.
Okay.
You know, I
But
could
wait.
I could just shoot the little thing now, but nah.
Vamp, to be fair, Vamp also uses
Yeah, Vamp
ranging knives,
Vamp prefers to use stabbing weapons.
Why did he have to do the pirouette?
Because I'm
Oh my God,
because he's fabulous too.
Oh my
Oh,
god, he reminded me of
God.
when Mephiles does that in Sonic 06.
Okay, so like last time, Vamp as all Vamp's nanomachines give him the abilities of a vampire, which means he can regenerate. So you can't just easily kill them the way you would normally kill other bosses. So here's the thing, though. Hold on, let's see what Otacon says.
Him pay, Snake. Do it for me. For Emma.
Don't worry, Otacon, we will.
Okay.
Snake, I don't know much about Vamp, so there's not much I can offer you by way of advice, but you do have my unconditional
There you go, Jova. You have my
Thanks,
support.
bro.
Yeah. Basically, to explain the context for you too. There's an iconic line from the first NES TMNT game where all April says is, "You have my support. You have my support. You have my
Which
support."
was also a
That's
Konami
another
game.
Konami tradition.
Apparently, this is a Konami tradition. Apparently.
Well, I'm sure with Rosemary's unconditional support, we can finally put this guy down for good.
But yeah.
That's what we were missing all along.
So let's think about this for a moment.
Says a lot that Raiden wasn't able to kill her.
So let's think about this for a moment. Vamp, the only way we could kill Vamp is if we remove the nanomachines that give him those abilities from his body. So, do we potentially have something that could do
Well,
that?
again, going again with the vampire mythos, the only way to put one properly down is to stake his heart. So we do have something close to that.
Unfortunately, we don't really have a crossbow or a stake that we can use.
Well, we
Or
do
a
have
cross
something,
itself.
we do have something that we can stab him with.
We do, but not in the heart,
We
though.
do.
Right, so for theatrics, Pedro.
He does have a point there.
Did it, Snake?
Again, it is more of a parallel more than anything. Oh, there you go.
Otacon, come on. You know Vamp at this point. Come on.
It's called being, being launched by enthusiasm, Jova.
So how are you supposed to beat him then?
Well, think about it, Blips. If you you probably don't remember, but before in the game, we were given an item that involves nanomachines. In fact, Snake has been using it throughout this entire game, various times in cutscenes, including in the last part, even.
Meanwhile, these guys just bouncing up around like a gymnast, but also an arsehole.
He likes to show off like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just faffing around.
I mean, when you look that fabulous, I mean, you have to be, you know, show. You kind of have to be a bit of a show off.
Alas, his fabulousness is ruined by his sheer dickery.
Not to mention, I have a cool, smooth voice by Phil Lamar. So yeah.
All right, Morbius, bring it on.
Oh
It's
God.
vamping time.
It's vamping time, ladies and gentlemen.
Jova, no! Now in that Metal Gear movie, they probably cast Jared Leto.
I mean, the sad thing is, he kind of looks a bit like Jared Leto's Morbius in a sense, and
Kind of
God, I
does,
hate,
yeah.
I hate to admit it. Okay. Crappy or not actor that he is, Jared Leto would look the part. I hate to admit that, but he would look the part.
He would, but I still don't want him anywhere near a franchise that I like.
He probably would do something very stupid, or at least annoying to everyone else doing production.
Yeah.
I just wonder, does Leto have dirt on the media? Cause now he's got a starring role in Tron Flippin' Free.
Yeah, I would like to remind that this guy actually went. Hold on. Nope.
I didn't
Go
hear
again.
no
Hold
Wait,
So-
do you have to wait till he says that to do whatever?
No.
You know that from the beginning. It's more okay that if you keep going at this point, the game will
so
actually
Pedro's
tell you,
wasting our time.
please.
Well, I'm showing off the boss battle a bit. I don't want to finish it immediately.
That's fair. Anyway, go on, Tio.
Forgot what I was saying.
Well, actually, Teo, allow me.
We're about to see it
when you
anyway.
take out our syringe, we grab Vamp,
Give me a hug, man.
and we use the syringe to take away his nanomachines.
In one fell swoop.
There you go.
What have you done? There. Now you're a mere mortal, like the rest of us.
Never. But can you kill this?
So all these bullets should be killing me now, right?
Well, let's
No,
see.
not yet.
Oh,
Fucking geckos.
always ruining the
We're
party.
fighting here, do you mind?
Yeah, we're trying to have a moment. Jeez. Right, the suicide geckos.
Fortunately, we got ourselves a railgun from Crying Wolf, so that should work just fine. Oh. I know those strikes.
Blade.
Thank God they weren't rigged to explode upon being cut up.
Oh my God, Blade's it. Oh. I was just
No.
running.
Snake.
Next best thing.
Sorry to have kept you all waiting.
Kept
I
you-
got to say it.
Kept you waiting, huh, Snake?
That's my line.
Time for a little tag team of the main protagonists.
Stop trying to out-grab me. You'll never get my voice.
So yeah, like it was implied in the briefing, Raiden will join us for the rest of the mission.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, so now Raiden. No, alright, so for the first time ever in the Metal Gear series, Raiden and Snake will have to work together to defeat the enemy.
Sorry. But I can't die just yet.
I've got a spin-off game.
Well, I'll give Vamp credit. He is still confident despite the fact that he is no longer got his nanomachines protecting him.
Gecko at bay.
So there you go. While
Might as well.
so yeah, Raiden will take on Vamp, whereas we take care of the geckos with our railgun.
If you can still lift that thing.
And look, they fight atop the Metal Gear Rex, just like how Snake and Liquid.
So yeah, Otacon needs some time to activate the Metal Gear Rex so we can get out of here. So Raiden and Snake will buy Otacon some time.
You are a scout too, are you not? Then let us duel with blades.
Please do not pull that out of your crotch. But fine, if you really want a blade duel like that. I love how these characters are still willing to put honor above all reason. It's just one of the series' charms at this point.
They're like samurai.
So yeah, some level, some ideal, and chivalry.
Oh, you
Even
think
if
they're like samurai
Even if it
now?
might appear illogical.
Wait till we get to Rising. That might as well be American Samurai, the movie game.
Alright, here we go. Okay, so we have a split screen. While on the left screen you play as Snake, taking care of all the geckos, you also get to see the fight between Raiden and Vamp in the right side.
How funny would it have been if it was
I thought you
actually
had
a
to play
two-player thing?
Or even worse, if you have to try and play both characters at
You
once.
could say that in order to exit this facility, it takes two to do it.
It's a way for the player to keep, to be kept in the gameplay and doing stuff, while at the same time being able to see the fight between Vamp and Raiden. So.
Hey, speaking of It Takes Two, I don't think we've heard from Josef Fares in a while.
Well, I'm pretty
No,
sure
let the man
developing stuff.
let the man cook the Jova. Like Toy Story 2 told us, you can't rush art. Let the man
I
cook.
will never forget that my first ever interaction or sighting of that man was at the Game Awards when he essentially canonized the phrase "F the Oscars" in a way that made everyone simultaneously uncomfortable but also roused with a sense of hope in the air.
Alright, so I bought myself some ammo from Drebin.
Might as well.
And that should be fun. Alright, let's stick down some geckos.
The mooing geckos.
In the meantime, yes, really cool, very well choreographed fight between the mocap actors for Vamp
Although I
and
find
Raiden.
it particularly hilarious that because the HUD has to stay the way it is for the rest of the game, the data has to be confined, on the top of, on the bottom right corner, the one where it's in the half of Raiden fighting.
I will say this, I really do have to wonder, when the government were like, okay man, we're going to construct these new Metal Gears. The Patriots AI system says that we must make them agile, tactical, very maneuverable, and make it so that they warn the enemy they are there with the sound of mooing cows.
Again, I get the idea it's supposed to be more of a psychological intimidation mechanism, but, it's not really scary.
When I hear cows, I just think, steak. I don't exactly get intimidated. Unless it's a bull, but they sound more like
Making
females.
the roar of a bear or something, that probably works better.
Or heck, give them the sound of a raging bull, but no, those sound like cows or steers at best.
It's the typical sound effect you hear about when you associate a cow with stupidity,
Like literally from the old McDonald farm song.
And so, after defeating the nefarious cow, our hero, the cow, won back the heart of the lovely cow.
Of course! Our friend Jim
dog.
was involved! It all makes sense now!
It could explain part of the insanity. Maybe Liquid was secretly just, Psycho all these guys,
Psychro does sound like a
Remember too, like in MGS1, Liquid was pretending to be Master Miller, and he did a surprise, Snake, it was me all along reveal.
How many geckos are there?
Yes. I'd like to remind that Raiden had to defeat something like 20 Metal Gear Rays at the end of 2.
I'm just surprised they didn't really bring out the Metal Gear Rays in full force, seeing as how they have a ton of those too.
Come on, Raiden, hang in there.
I don't remember if it's a thing that you're supposed to, just endure until Raiden is done, or if it's the opposite, where if you take too long, Raiden.
It's actually scripted. There's infinite geckos constantly spawning. You basically think of this as an endurance match. Like try to keep yourself alive until Raiden and Otacon are done. Because remember,
it's not looking really that good, Raiden.
Not to mention, remember the primary goal is to buy time for Otacon to activate Rex. So.
There you go.
I do feel like while this is an interesting idea, I find that whenever I'm playing this sequence, I do have trouble focusing on both screens at the same time, which can make me feel like, oh crap, I missed this part of the fight.
Well, personally, well, here's what I do. Usually what I do is when I'm playing, I just focus on my end, because the fight that you're seeing on the right side is always the same. So if it helps, you can just watch it on YouTube if you want to not miss a single frame.
I think a better compromise would have been let the fight happens, but let just the end being in a proper cutscene.
And
I am Jesus.
well, more like the Antichrist.
Well, he's dead, so. Yeah.
And Raiden gets the killing blow, finally putting an end to that
I'm actually glad
rivalry.
that he didn't have Snake, kill Steel, because Vamp was really built up to be more able to Raiden.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Remember, it was Raiden who failed to save Emma in MGS2, so this is also kind of personal revenge for him. So
okay. Want to take a ride in the ultimate mount?
It still functions after all this time and despite the damage.
Like I said, Metal Gear Rex is the best.
Inside his body. But after so many battles, he's finally reached his limit.
Well, that and I literally took away his nanomachines.
Yeah.
You get no credit, you murderer.
Give me one lap pillow in death.
please, just one nanomachine.
No nanomachines.
He does get the over.
But he does get the lap pillow.
Oh, hold on, that's bad. Sunny told Raiden to tell Naomi, I cooked them right. There you go, she did it, guys.
The story arc is complete.
Hey.
She's finally growing up.
You finally learned to cook those bloody eggs right.
Wait, I thought you were American or Canadian this time.
Well, Naomi Hunter is supposed to be American,
She
yes.
still has the axe.
Can't save you. You have to trust me, Dr. Emmett. Give this to him. Not for revenge, but to end his suffering.
Well, that's fair.
Otacon, can you actually kill someone? Oh, okay then.
Well, it doesn't have to at least.
You can be at peace.
Remember, one of the big things of Vamp in MGS2 was that, will someone actually be able to kill me? Can I actually die in peace? So now he finally gets to.
So this is all Captain Jack from Doctor Who needed.
A syringe.
Yes. Oh no, not Vamp.
Well, no, it's not so much Vamp. It's more so that, again, remember, Naomi is, of course, seeing the consequences of her acts in MGS1. Now that all these people whose research have harmed, you know.
Oh boy, here we go.
Snake. Liquid's down below us. He's stolen the Patriot system, slipped out of their sight, and taken their Ark.
Ark.
A warship. Unfettered by land, law, country, or network.
So, Arsenal on steroids.
Yeah, basically.
Patriots.
You know, at this point, one of these days we're gonna have an entire Metal Gear that's just planet-sized.
I'm more surprised, with the seas hasn't gone in space yet.
Liquid plans to launch the nuke from that ship.
Of course, Outer Haven. You remember that, guys?
Heaven, actually, but yeah, Outer Heaven.
That's the same thing.
You have been given liquid so that
Oh, wait, I remember the speech from Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yep. Well, we've done so many callbacks in this act. What's one? A couple more at this point.
We are given life only so that we can atone for our sins. Your life was created for that very purpose. We all must atone for our own sins. We must not pass them on to the next generation. We must not leave them for the future. That is your true fate. One that even you cannot defy.
What? Shit.
And she kills herself.
Yep. Okay. So you may have noticed that Naomi was having a bit of the coughs across the plot.
Her body's kept barely alive by now.
That's because she had nanomachines that were keeping her alive.
Just the same as vampires.
Yeah, I remember this was foreshadowed when we saw her
Yeah,
first.
sir.
Yeah. She also has been kept alive by nanomachines, which means she also is now, like basically a dead body being kept alive by science.
That's right, nanomachines can literally keep you alive from cancer.
I mean, I can't believe that.
I mean, at this point, Jova, why not?
Oh. Okay. I have,
Go ahead.
This may be a bit of a hot take, but this death really never did anything for me. For me, Naomi...
Well, actually,
For
that's
me-
not a hot take at all. A lot of people are mixed on this stuff in particular.
Like, I'm more arguing about the placement. Why is she doing it now and not waiting until Liquid is dead just to see the thing going fruition?
That's actually part of the issue I have with
And,
this.
and also, we gotta need to be continuing the running gag of anyone and everything that Otacon cares or actually tries to love about dying horribly just so he can suffer. Like,
That's actually all tied into my reasons of why this death doesn't do it for me. Like, okay, I groaned about Naomi before, but that's mainly because of her role in this game, which seems to be mainly two things. Betray everyone, and die so that, once again, Hal can cry about another woman he loves dying. Like, it feels like they just established a relationship between her and Hal just to get this moment. Like, okay, Sniper Wolf's death, that was done great. I was already raising my eyebrows at how Emma's death was handled, but this, I was just like, nope, I've heard the story before, and Naomi just doesn't do it for me. Especially since, okay, if she was gonna kill herself out of grief, like Tio said, at least have it be done after we're sure that Liquid is dealt with.
There is one positive thing about it that I will say though. This orchestral rendition of Enclosure, aka the Sniper Wolf death theme, is amazing. Like the music is amazing. That's one thing I definitely have to give it.
I do agree. I mean, yeah, that I agree with. And yes,
That being said,
that how loves die.
yeah, that being said, guys, we're about to follow that up with one of the big highlights of the entire Metal Gear franchise for me.
One of my absolute favorite moments in the game, actually.
That bit of dialogue just then. Are you sure Kojima didn't just rip that from a MGS fanfic he came across?
It's fine.
Which line in particular?
Why can't I fall in love?
Yeah, now it was about to fall in love again.
It's kind of giving everything I touch.
That being said, I do like one particular callback we're going to hear right now regarding one of his lines, actually.
You're right. I haven't lost everything yet.
And then Snake dies as soon as he says that.
That's right. We need you.
Hold on.
Today.
Hold on. Haha! There you go. Now it's Otacon who says it. Remember, it was Snake who said to Otacon MGS1, "I have no more tears to shed." Now it's Otacon who who finally got to that point in his life.
I
There
will
you
say
go.
this. Good for Otacon. I absolutely do think good for Otacon. I just don't like how we got to this point.
Oh, sure. And now, Shiroi, guess what? For the first and only time in the Metal Gear franchise, we get to play as a Metal Gear.
Cool. That's fun.
Well, wasn't there also technically Peace Walker? But you
Well,
know
this is
what I mean.
well, not really. Like in Peace Walker, we're not actually commandeering the Metal Gear in gameplay.
But you know, there are the Metal Gear mechanics, but I guess it's a technical.
If you're talking about Phantom Pain's vehicles, yeah, but nothing on this scale, though.
I remember asking. Oh, I'll wait for the scene to be over, actually.
Sure. Well, actually, go ahead, Shiro. You can ask now. Right now.
Go on.
It's just kind of to get it out of the way. I know I asked this before, and I mentioned when I asked the initial question. This was a couple of games ago, I think. And I said I don't really see it at that point in time because, like Jova said, Sniper Wolf's death was, you know, pretty emotional. The more we go through these games, though, it seems that Kojima hasn't been able to quite deal with that for the most part. And he seems to have a bit of a fridging problem.
Yeah.
What do you mean check it out? What do you mean check it out before we get started? We're on a time limit.
Like he definitely seems to have a bit of a fridging problem with
Well,
the female character.
Well, actually, okay. Okay. Well, actually, there's if you pause to check the controls, the timer pauses, so don't worry about that. Second, okay. While that is true, Shiro, I will argue that he's not a complete fringing guy. He's more inconsistent with it.
No, he's not. He's not consistent with it, but unfortunately, at least
MGS1 and MGS3 in particular has one of the best, my favorite all-time female characters in the like with the boss, right? So it's more so that he's inconsistent. I don't think he does it intentionally. I think it's more so that sometimes he gets this right, sometimes he gets it wrong. Which, well, it's a shame, but well, what can you do?
One thing to remember, Sheree, I wouldn't say the fridging thing is exclusive to women too. Let's not forget McDonald Miller from Metal Gear Solid 1, but again,
I think Pedro's right in saying that it's inconsistent. Like,
the way
he writes this stuff.
And I definitely agree it's not intentional. It is a writing flaw, but at the very least, I do get the idea that he doesn't intend for that.
I don't think that either.
I mean, okay, the only time people have ever questioned the purity of his motivations is when it comes to Quiet, but, well, that's a whole nother different
That's
story.
when it comes to Woman. We haven't seen everything yet.
Well, here's the thing. The whole Quiet needs to be in skipping clothes because she breathes through her skin. That's just typical anime stuff, honestly. That's not a Kojima thing. That's an anime thing, to be honest.
I do think people wouldn't have been riding his ass for it as much if, she wasn't the only prominent female character in the game. I
guess,
some others.
But she still is a badass who gets to do a lot of cool shit, though. So it's not like she's just there for eye candy. I mean, if she was just there for eye candy, then definitely I could agree with you. But she is also a great character with a good arc on her own. So
it's more of a case of feeling that the design needs more of a justification instead of potentially.
Sure. That being said, man, it's so satisfying to take down all these geckos with ease using Metal Gear Rex.
Oh yes. We're not done yet.
And meanwhile, Ryan's just following with the flips.
Because it's one of those things where there's just too much awesomeness for me to be mad.
Oh, but wait, the best is yet to come with piloting Metal Gear Rex.
The best is yet to come.
Right in. Oh, there you go.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
Not again.
And Dryden died again.
Dwebs, Rising happens, so it doesn't die here.
No. Don't you see, we're actually just playing as Raiden's ghost in that game.
Yeah.
And, hold on.
No, we're playing Raiden's twin brother, Bryden.
There's Ray.
Yeah, you might remember how Ocelot got away in a Metal Gear Ray at the end of MGS2, and that was the last we saw of him. There you go. Now, guess what?
They're functioning.
Now, we finally get... There you go, Shiroi. The Metal Gear Rex from MGS1 versus Metal Gear Ray from MGS2 in a kaiju battle.
Who Who
Those are
will
always
win?
fun.
Who will win? The Metal Gear that took all hell and power to take down, or the mass-produced Metal Gear Ray, which got took down by one guy with a sword?
Actually, rocket launcher.
This is the interesting thing.
No. Remember, Metal Gear Solid 2, Raiden takes out like several of those things with a sword.
The interesting thing, this is basically a reverse of what Jurassic Park 3 did, where this would be like if the T-Rex had taken down the Spinosaurus, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
Let's do this.
All right, so you can attack him both physically and close range, or use your guns. And I'm just gonna stop using guns. Eventually, when you start shooting him, he will eventually defend himself. So you have to try a different approach. So let's try to get near him.
I will say this: if this were the very last Metal Gear game, this would have been just perfect.
Oh no, definitely.
Of course,
This
it's
is
the final Metal Gear game.
Of all
we
the-
finally get to battle. Metal Gear Ray using, again, Metal Gear Ray. It's like, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Just because it's newer doesn't mean it's always
remember
better.
Kojima originally envisioned this, and even though remember Rising takes place after this game, but remember Rising was originally going to be a prequel to this. But so the original intent was indeed for this game to be the chronologically last game of the franchise. So obviously he wanted this to be a big epic finale where we pull out all the stops and do everything.
There's also the fact that these tanks were actually built for proper guerrilla warfare, and while we did see some of them in some capacity, not too much for the intended use, so this is actually the closest we actually get to see the way we were intended to be actually operated.
Oh shit.
Although, part of me kind of wishes that this was the actual final boss.
That would have been
not in a
cool.
sense to end the game now, but repurpose this fight to be the final boss fight.
Also,
that's the thing too. I don't know if I wanted to advocate of the actual final boss we get, because the actual final boss we get is so amazing, though.
There's again.
That is a good point.
Just to describe without spoiling, there's an emotional component, yes, but I argue this is more significant for the franchise as a whole on a gameplay level.
I guess, but that final boss though.
Here's what I would have done: have the two final bosses be like, basically back to back, essentially.
Can you even imagine how much me and my friend were just completely going fangasming? Like, I'm pretty sure we started squeeing in a frequency that only dogs can hear at some point when we.
So hello, Snake, for never having piloted a Metal Gear before, you're doing amazing.
Remember, remember, Otacon is telling him what to do.
Well, it's that plus Snake being very adaptable. We've seen that Snake is very good to adapting to weapons or vehicles he's never used before on the field.
There you go.
So, there
And
we go,
that's
ladies
it.
and gentlemen. Metal Gear Ray for pizzazz, Metal Gear Rex for results.
Exactly.
Don't at me.
It's over, Shiroi.
Wow.
Oh, ow.
I'm curious, Shiroi, was there any problem that caused you not to be able to see the fight or something?
The gunfire, yes.
Okay.
It flashes from both sides of the screen.
Sure.
It only really showed up at the start, but I get what you mean. Oh,
Flop.
not exactly as planned.
Right, Liquid?
Well, even Snake is not really.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I love this fake out here. Oh, I remember this. Fox. Die.
Cool.
Wait for it.
Think again.
Fooled you. I love this guy so much.
He's playing the bit.
Ow.
Also, this pretty much the perfect villain. Like he's fun in that campy way, but he's also can be scheming and devious.
He's here to have fun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
All over too.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Hang on. two old guys chasing each other, beating each other up. Are you sure this predicted Up a few months before it came out?
Well, actually, this movie came out. This game came out 1 year before Up. So by that point, Up.
What the
Yes.
What? What
Yes.
is that?
An entire battleship with a Mount Rushmore, you're on top, and like.
I have a better.
Okay.
I have a better question for you guys. Why not?
I mean, if I was
I
playing,
can't argue with that logic.
if I was playing Gradius, I guess I would try to fight that as a boss, but that would also need to imply Konami remembers Gradius.
So yeah, we're going back even further. It not only comes back to Shadow Moses, it comes back to Outer Heaven.
Of course.
With Metal Gear Rex's
I guess you can say.
mounted onto it.
I guess you can say, Jova, that we need to bring everything back to zero.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised they didn't go all the way back to Metal Gear 1 when you think about it.
Well, Jova, there is the post-credits bit. You can kind of see it that way.
Okay, that's a good point. So yeah, just a floating city
Right then,
over there.
God damn it.
I'm still alive! Just
Remember, one good thing, at least for him, is that since his body is a machine now, that means he can be fixed. So.
So just dislocate that, and
Well,
we
he
can
still,
reach that.
unfortunately, he still doesn't have pain inhibitors yet.
I do love that touch, Sonny. Forgive me, because remember, Sonny worked really hard to fix him. So, but he has to now. Sorry, Sonny. Again, one of the things that Sonny is a very precious girl who needs to be protected at all costs, and I do love how every single one of the characters also see her that way.
So Ocelot decides, yeah, I'm just gonna ram him with my ship.
I mean, as long as it works.
So, Snake! Not gonna move?
From which Star Trek did you learn that one?
Nemesis?
Same one, I learned this maneuver.
Nemesis, apparently.
Plenty of Star Trek media actually.
And look at that.
Well, Lives, did Nemesis prepare you for this?
And there you go, now we get the final callback. You might remember this as a callback to when Grey Fox was also holding back Metal Gear.
Look, Ma, with only one hand.
Get the fuck out of here. Whoa.
Get on board!
Come on,
for
Snake, go.
sake.
Come on, Snake, go. Don't let Raiden's sacrifice be in vain.
And Raiden died.
So,
Well, at least they do have the actual proper recordings from MGS2, and apparently those were usable. So there is that at least.
Wait, so I go, wait. Wow, it's a double whammy. We either get the half-ass acting from Twin Snakes and the terrible April 30th dialogue from 2.
Well, that's what was on systems.
Well, I do commend Kojima for not just burying this under the rug and actually providing a payoff for it, as we're going to see eventually later. Because it would have been it would have been so easy to just, okay, fine, let's just pretend the Rose thing never happened. No, that would have been the lazy way to go about it.
Oh, remember, for a bit of time, even Kojima was poking fun at Jack and Rose if Snake Tails is anything to go by.
Well, yeah, that was the primary idea. It was an attempt to appease, because you have to understand, now Raiden is beloved, but that's now. Back in the MGS2, MGS3 period of the franchise, Raiden was fucking hated. You have to understand.
Oh no, like,
So-
look, I wasn't even into Metal Gear, and even I was aware of the backlash against Raiden, and I will say this, even still, even Rose still has her fair share of detractors, but hey, here's
the
Mei
cavalry's
Ling.
here.
Merling to the
The
rescue.
USS Missouri Battle Museum ship now refitted for duty.
What was that line that Rihanna said? Mahalo, mother peep.
And the cool thing is that Mei Ling prepared herself, and she's using all equipment that is out of the Son of the Patriots system. And as Slot even mentioned, by calling that ship a worthless fossil.
Again, it's like the Battleship movie.
I know,
don't
right?
understand.
It's almost uncanny. Although, given. Oh, Raiden. Damn it, Raiden. Just when the fans were starting to love you.
Oh, and now guy needs. No, how can things get any worse?
He lands on them with his neck. Well, that's the end of Metal Gear Solid 4. Final thoughts, guys?
It's okay. I look out to
I
rescue.
believe Liquid got away.
Get to the chopper!
Got to have an awesome Metal Gear Rex fight. 10 out of 10 game.
No, it's one of those things where it's just like, again, like, the fact that we got to actually have a Kaiju Metal Gear fight, that's just like, that makes this entire game worth it to me.
I don't know. It's like I said, Metal Gear Solid 4 may have many flaws that do annoy me, but they are not enough to detract from my overall love for this game when it does do awesome stuff.
Because everything that this game does right, it does phenomenally right. So
that I definitely agree with. And we'll see just where things go from here, I guess.
So, yeah, fortunately, it's not quite as hopeless as last time, everybody, because tune in next time for the fifth and final act of Metal Gear Solid 4, where we finally take down Liquid's insurrection and save the world. Hopefully.
And get our justice and revengeance.
See you then, everybody.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.